Alright, so my pump is, something's not right. So yesterday, the water boiler was overheating. There's a bunch of steam coming out of the vent pipe, water was coming out, and it seemed like it lost a lot of water, and I thought that I needed to bleed the machine, so I did all that. I'm pretty sure I did it all right. It looked like there was water flowing from one end to the other, no air. Hooked it all back up, and yeah, it's still making this noise. So my next thing is I'm going to take apart the pump here and see if there's something wrong on the inside. I've watched a couple videos on YouTube. It seems like that's the right thing to do here. So I'm gonna go ahead and unplug it, turn it off. I'm gonna turn this valve off here, but there's no valve on the top of this one. I didn't install this. This was like this when I bought the house. So I turned the valve off for the from the stove. So there's probably gonna be water in the line. So there's probably gonna be water coming out from the top part here. But the bottom part should be cut off. Go ahead and turn that off. Actually, I'm gonna unplug it first, then I'll turn everything off. But here we go. Before you take your pump apart, you want to make sure you turn your lines off. And this here is the outtake line, and you're gonna want to turn this one here off, just like this. And then you're also going to want to turn off your intake, which is right here. So now there's no water flowing through the system. So the water would come in this way, and the water would come out of this one. So once you take the pump off, if those are still on, it's just going to be running water, cycling it through there. It's just going to be gravity fed, and you're just going to have a big mess. So as you take the pump off, you are going to need a bucket, or I used a really big tote, and to catch all of the water that's going to come out of the line. So even have that line off right now, there's still going to be some water coming out. Got this tote here underneath of the pump. So I'm expecting to be a lot of water coming out of this thing. Here we go. I was having a hard time trying to get it to come apart. I ended up taking a pry bar to it and just pried it open. It was really on there. As you can see, the impeller is broken. It should look something like this. But this right now is just a spinning disc, so it's not circulating any water at all. It's just spinning in circles. Nothing's really happening, and it's just making a really loud noise. Luckily, Brittany's dad actually had an extra pump already on hand, so he brought it over and we installed the new pump. Unfortunately, though, the camera did die while we were doing it, so we don't have any footage of it. I'm going to go over what you need to do to replace the pump. This here is the new pump, and it is running right now. It is super quiet. You can barely hear it. But most of these pumps are all universal, and they're very easy to replace. But the first step is you want to go ahead and turn your breaker off. Make sure there's no power running to this. And there's a little screw right here. You just take that off, get into the electrical box here. And the best thing to do is just, if it's already put together, just take a picture of the wires and then just unwind everything. And then when you have to put it back together, pull that picture up and put the wires back together the same way as you took it apart. Now to get the pump off, you just need to loosen the bolt here, and there's one in the back and then the two on the bottom here. Once those are loose, you can just pull this whole pump out. So from here down, right here above that, this whole pump will just come out. And then you just have two loose hoses sitting there. But then just put your new pump back on there, strap it in, tighten all the bolts back together, and should be good to go. Do all your electrical work. And then before you turn it on, it's probably best to bleed your system. And this is the first time I've ever bled my system, but I'm going to go and I'll show you what I did to bleed it. So what it means to bleed your system is you need to get all the air out of the line. And this is the first time I've ever done this with this stove here, so I'm not 100% sure if this is the correct way of doing it, but I was determined to get this done. So this is the only way it really made sense to me, and all I did was loosen up this pipe right here, and once I got it loose, all the water started flowing out. At this point now, all the air has flowed out of the pipe, and the intake valve, the one you can see on the screen right now, is still turned off, but the outtake valve on the top right is turned on, and the one that was below my pump inside the crawl space there is turned on. So all the air has now flown out of the pipe, and after that I tightened it all back on, and it was a big mess. I mean, I got soaking wet. Water was just going everywhere. It was a real pain in the ass, but I eventually got it back on there. At least the water was warm still. I mean, it was really cold that day, and it was windy. You can see all the snowflakes flying around. Wow, Jack, look at me. Soaking wet. Woo! From head to toe, wow. Well, you want some heat in your house, so it's worth it, but I may not look like I know what I'm doing, but I'm pretty sure I just fixed the problem there. And I'm gonna turn the pump on and see what happens. And actually, before I turn the pump on, I'm gonna turn this valve back on. That's what it looks like without the pump running. This is what it looks like with the pump running. Big difference. Looks like all the hard work paid off. The house is being heated and everything is working just right. I hope this video helps you out. I know there's not a lot on YouTube about this stove. I'm gonna try to put more out there. Thank you for watching.